in cash doing this
Cloth
first.
talk over here. Y'all listen.
And it
Give
was
me the sauce.
bro. And you know how Texas is. It was.
I know he's sick on my money, cause every time he calls, he steady coughing inside of my left right pocket. Watch this, these broke boys watch this, these broke boys watch this. I can make the whole crowd watch this. I can make it one stop, watch this. I can make it one stop.
Welcome into the Swanky Sessions podcast. We're already on episode 3. I don't know how we got it this far. We didn't get canceled from episode 1. If you're watching this, you've already seen episode 1 and 2, so hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about it. But yeah, we get to get some more guests on, some more friends, and I reached out to a special one this time.
Special.
Same name, same category, businessman, real estate entrepreneur, guru in the world of business. My boy Blake Maddox.
Guru for sure. I try not to be a guru, but yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, tell the people about yourself, man. Where you were born, maybe an age. Maybe
anything more interesting that people probably want to know? Is the mic good?
Favorite food and hobby.
Yeah. So, do I look at you or do I look at the camera when we do this? I'll look at you.
You look wherever you want, brother.
So I was born in Houston. Grew up there whole life. Went to Georgia Ranch High School. Yada yada yada. All that boring stuff.
Georgia Ranch.
Ranch. Yeah.
That sounds like a cool.
Was
it a ranch house?
We went to high school in basically a big old barn dominium.
Okay.
And so it's yeah.
A big word. Barn dominium.
Honestly, we know each other from college.
Yep.
And I came up here to Dallas, DFW area, just because I wanted to move as far away as I could in state, but I didn't have to see my parents, right? So I'm coming from Houston all the way up to Dallas. We're basically at Oklahoma at this point.
Smart move.
And yeah, dude, honestly, like high school was cool and all, but I really was nobody like in high school, right? And so I came up here and I was like, I got to make a whole new name for myself. Came up to UNT, knew absolutely zero people, Greek life all the way through business school, and graduated and said, fuck going to work for somebody else, right?
True.
So started working for myself.
Did we meet freshman year or sophomore year?
We met at the bars.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Walk me through that. I can't remember exactly how we met, but we've known each other for a good minute now.
Well, I don't think there's really a pinpoint moment where we had a conversation.
Running into each other.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we just like kept banging heads, and whenever we were at the bars and whatnot, and there's women around, and we have similar interests.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's probably how we met each other. But
took us there, and I was like, your name's Blake, my name's Blake, we're now friends.
Yeah, for sure.
And we just hit it off. Now, I asked this question on my last podcast, but when do you think you're friends with someone rather than just acquaintances?
Trust, right? So I feel like if I can't actually trust somebody, then they're an acquaintance for sure, right? So, and trust is probably one of the only things that is earned when you meet somebody new for the first time. And honestly, I feel like, especially like now, trust is becoming harder and harder, right, with social media and whatnot. So I would honestly say, like, obviously we met at the bar and whatnot, but doing things like this, hanging out a little bit more, really getting to break down barriers is actually where you can start building trust.
Yeah.
So
breaking down racial barriers. This is what MLK wanted. Two Blakes. Of different races. There's 1.5 white men in this room right now. Wait, Orlando, do you have any white in you?
Just
okay, yeah. Just one.
It's just me. I'm like an Oreo.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. You're like an Oreo. You got the Oreos on?
Yeah,
like
I
an
do.
Oreo?
I do. They're a little dirty.
Yeah.
Sure. They're actually my roommates. So,
yeah. I have on my Crocs right now.
Yeah.
So these are my walk-arounds. I love these. My purple Crocs. They've done everything for me. We're drinking on some mimosas. Yeah. My boy Blake came through.
It's really Maddox and mimosas. I'm not trying to steal your thunder.
Maddox
and mimosas, right?
The business is crazy.
So, I know this is a kind of an interview style thing, but I really, realistically, we haven't chatted in a bit. Like, tell me a little bit about what you've been up to.
So, busy life. Literally every day, there's probably something going on. I don't really have a lot of free time right now. So this year has been up and down, bro. It's been school, obviously. I go to school Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11 to 3:20. That's been consuming my time doing work. And then when I'm not in school, especially when the Mavs season was on, my recent endeavor has been working for the Mavs. So doing reporting, going to the games.
You liking that or what?
I love it. Like, kind of breaking, like you were saying, breaking down that barrier, especially with like celebrities or athletes and whatnot. Like, the first time I went was the Golden State versus the Mavs game. and the Mavs won, and it was like I was like still like kind of starry-eyed. I was like, oh my god, I'm right next to Luka Doncic. Like Kyrie just walked by me. Steph Curry's warming up 2 feet in front of me, and I was kind of like, and then after 2 or 3 games, I was like, okay, it's a business now. This is time to get down to business. Like it's no more like, oh my god, look who that is. But it's definitely like it's kind of cool being in the room with like all the ESPN guys I watch on TV to get notes from. I'm right next to them eating potatoes and chicken next to it now, and I'm just like, oh my god. So
do you think it helps you kind of establish your brand as well?
Yeah, I think it's definitely like a big stepping stone, kind of like having that backing of being in the same room as those ESPN guys, getting those same sources, asking questions that get talked about on sports talk shows. Like I asked about like Kyrie Irving liking Dallas, and then like ESPN and Undisputed were talking about his answer to me on their talk show. Like obviously I haven't gotten there yet. I'm still a rookie where they're like, Blake Elliott asked this question. They're just like, Kyrie Irving said. So we'll get there. But it's definitely been a good stepping stone. And then also just like home life has been like all over the place. Like me personally, I've been in the ER twice this year.
For what?
My leg. Remember when I cut my leg open? When I sliced it?
At the bars, yeah?
No, it was here.
I'm just playing.
So literally, that's why we have a new coffee table. I don't think it's in the shot. You can't see it. But I really wanted when I came here to have like a little deconstructed coffee table. So I had 4 concrete blocks from Home Depot, $2 a block, spray painted them black, and had a broken glass table on it. It had a little shard that was cut out. And I was walking by it. I had my gym bag on, ready to go get a gym pump in. Class got canceled. Had my everything ready to go, smoothie in hand. Walk outside to close this patio door, and I feel a little bump on my leg. And I'm like, oh, like, you know, I'm thinking little boo-boo, little quick blood. I look down, my entire leg is like split open. I can like damn near see the bone. I'm like, oh. And as you know, I live alone. Yeah. So it's not like I have a girlfriend or a mom or a friend. You don't have a
girlfriend no more.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that, I guess.
So I don't have anyone to call on, and my best friend Clay, he was out of town. Him and his girlfriend were out of town. So I'm like freaking out. I'm like, there's blood gushing, like it's popping out of my leg. So I'm like literally war zone, band-aided up, just med kit, put a tourniquet on.
It sounds like you're reliving this. Like I can almost like see it. Like I'm looking at the patio right now. And I can just see you right there doing this.
Literally getting like my kitchen, what's it called? The little dish rags, and I'm wrapping it around my leg, calling my mom, freaking out, Mom, I'm gonna die.
Crying.
She's trying to walk me through it. I'm not hearing it. I'm like, no, Mom, this is not gonna work. She's like, just go to the hospital. I'm like, how? My leg is broken. I can't drive. So I finally get a tourniquet. I call one of my coworkers who happens to live in the same apartment complex. He's luckily a nurse. He comes over here, kind of takes care of me, drives me to the hospital, get all stitched up. I'm x-rayed, stitched, back home in like an hour and a half.
Sounds like it sounds like this is a moving factor in your life. Sounds like this is a very big moment. You're walking me through this so vividly.
So that happened, and that made it where I couldn't go to the gym. Because like I was like obviously couldn't do leg day, but I was even scared to they were like kind of take it easy. Like I didn't want to do like.
Are you doing leg day right now?
Yeah, I'm doing a little
crunches. Yeah, it looks good.
Like I don't want to do bench press and be pushing down and split my leg open for one extra bench press.
So you got stitches and whatnot.
Yeah, so 12 stitches, and then it was like my grandpa just recently went to the ER a couple days ago. And then I had my wisdom teeth coming in. So it's just been like every time I'm trying to do something, the podcast, Mavs, school, it's like I'm in the emergency room or somebody needs something. So it's been up and down. What about you?
Wow. I mean, how do I one up that?
Yeah, no, you don't have to one up it.
The beautiful story about your leg.
Yeah.
So I honestly, I pretty much lost track of where we were at on there. So you're asking me what?
Just like how life has been. Has it been like it's been like a roller coaster for me? Like
it's
seems great from the outside. Everybody's.
So about 6 months ago, so when I was a senior, actually this is a better way to tell a little story. When I was a senior, what I did was while I was in college, right? We moved into a house. Me and my roommate Zach Levine moved into a house, and I didn't have any furniture. Now my family, they do well, right? But my dad's mentality is always like, you earn your keep, right? So like he was like, I'll pay for, college, and I'm grateful. Yeah. And I've always been grateful for that. I've never claimed to be like this Mr. Self-made millionaire type guy, and I'm not a millionaire. My family does well, but he was basically like, I'll pay for your college. Everything else is on you. And so when we moved in this house together, I don't even have a bed, right? Yeah. And they're all the way in Houston, and I have a truck. And their mentality, my dad's mentality is like, well, figure it out. And so and this is going to make for a great story, but I got on Facebook Marketplace, bought a used bed.
Love Facebook Marketplace.
Bought a used bed, right? For like, I'm sorry. I don't want to say bought. I got it for free. And it was from some person that went to UNT. So I drove my truck there, me and my roommate, Zach Levine, get there. That person says,
wait, what'd you say your roommate's name was?
Zach Levine.
So it's a pretty cool. His name's Zach.
He was a wrestler. Shout out Zach. I love
not
you.
the Bulls player.
Shout out Zach. He's a great guy. One of the most loyal friends. Met him freshman year. He actually kicked out his roommate in Kerr Hall, and I moved in.
Wow.
We swapped, and we didn't even like go through the school to do it. We just swapped bedrooms, just because. That's another thing. But back to what I was saying is we got there, picked up this mattress, right? And when they're freaking out, like, we got to go to the airport. We need you to take this other one. I'm like, dude, we're not taking another one. We just need one. And she said, that's part of the deal. You take both. I don't care if you dump it. I don't care if you throw it on the side of the road.
She was like, you're here.
You're here. So we take both, strap it in, yada, yada. I bring it home. I get my bed, right? We have this other bed. Zach's like, well, why don't you just throw it on Marketplace for like $50? See if someone buys it. Threw it on Marketplace for $50. Someone bought it like that night. And so I said, damn, that was easy, right? And so I'm working at the time, working waiting tables, right? And I'm like, that was easy. I started going to pick up furniture around DFW, all these moving sales people moving, right?
Yeah.
And I'm doing it all by myself, bro. And you know how Texas is. It was hot that summer. And shout out Chuck Jones, if you know who Chuck Jones is. Shout out Chuck Jones. He helped me out a lot, and I paid him to help out. But my God, I couldn't have made it throughout the summer without Chuck Jones. And got into digital marketing realistically in about November, December of last year. So it's been about 6 months now. And I was basically just like, my furniture business got to the point where it wasn't scalable anymore. I had capped at that 100K limit. And I was like, I can't rely on used furniture forever. So how do I sell digital products? And I started building landing pages, getting in these Facebook groups, building out these landscapers websites. And I was making a pretty good amount, about the same amount of money, right? And then opened the world up to SMMA, and I don't know if you know much about it. It's all over YouTube. Everybody and their mom follows like Iman Gotzi and all of these other gurus out there that tell you, easiest way to 10K, all you got to do is sell to 5 people.
Yeah,
well, dude, you got to
drop shipping.
You got to understand that. You got to understand that trust is like the hardest thing to gain from a stranger. And so realistically, they think it's this easy process where they're just going to jump right in and make 10K because they're going to cold call 5 people. I have a call center in Lebanon I use right now. I have two agents in Lebanon right now that are calling right now, cold calling roofers right now.
Yeah.
I cold call myself. My roommate cold calls. Everybody's cold calling, right? We're running ads. We're bringing in business. We're bringing in revenue. We're taking demo calls. We're closing, right? And just recently, I got a fulfillment center that basically takes care of all of the obligations. So now, realistically, where I stand is I just have to take sales calls for my own business.
Nice.
And it's in 6 months. And anybody that watches this, I want you to know it's real, but it's hard as shit, right?
Yeah. And it's all about persistence and like and doing it over and over and like staying dedicated to your craft. Like, you're not gonna get it done in a night. Like, what did you just say? 6-7 months to like get to where you're at.
And I mean, and there are points where. And we'll go through this, but I mean, like, beginning of the year this year, I did 75 hard. I had never tried it. I was basically in and out of the gym, right? And I just said, me and my girlfriend broke up late December, and I said, I'm doing 75 hard. If I can't make it through 75 hard, I'm a weak fucking man.
So to the people, tell them what 75 hard means.
So 75 hard basically is no alcohol. Cheers.
Cheers.
Right? No alcohol. For 75 days. No gym every day, hour and a half gym every single day, gallon of water, read your book, yada, yada, yada. You can look up the rules of 75 hard.
So it's almost like an extended Ramadan. It's kind of what I'm getting.
It's like hell, especially with the DFW weather. It'll be raining and you got to go on those like late night runs and there's no excuse.
Oh, you got to do a run every day too?
Remember when it froze?
Yeah, I did.
I was out there like skating.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. I saw every single day of your 75. This is exactly what my mind. When I saw like 2 out of 75, I was like, oh, he's doing like trend or he's doing like steroids, and this is day 2 of a 75-day cycle. I was like, he's looking big, like it's working. I was waiting for day 75 for you to just be jacked.
The crazy
out of your mind.
Crazy thing is, like, halfway through 75 hard, people start noticing.
Yeah.
Right? So you'll get some hearts on your stories.
Yeah, they're like, whoa, this guy's been posting every day.
Every day, right?
It's just persistence. Even if people aren't interested, they're like, something's going on.
And you know what? I think that social media is good for that one reason. It'll motivate you, right? If you follow the right people, and like, I'm not saying follow me because I'm the right person. I'm just saying in general, if you follow the right people and you actually can kind of get your goals in line, like,
and you see the same thing every day.
It builds that. And guess what? Do you know how many people message me on like around like day 50 to day 70 and we're like, I'm doing 75 hard because you.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd probably say half a dozen people,
Yeah.
right? And they're still doing it. I still keep up with them. I still check on them.
Yeah.
And then post 75, I've had a couple guys like, how was it? I sent them my before and after results. I was fat.
Mm-hmm.
I was drinking, I was eating, I was doing all this shit to my body. And I went from like, naturally, I went from like 205 to like 196, 197.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like, I lost like 8 pounds, right? But I put on some muscle.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I can tell. D's. Yeah.
Don't be hitting on me,
Yeah, diesel.
No, but I would inspire anybody to go through that, not just for the physical challenge, for the mental, right? So it was the mental challenge behind it was actually that all of the excuses, those demons in the back of your mind, that'll tell you like it's so easy, just ain't nobody gonna know, just take a day off, just relax, and you go to this inner battle within yourself, and you really realize like, holy shit, I have a lot of bad habits. And I corrected myself with my drinking. I corrected myself with a lot of the things I watched. I mean, and a lot of guys are in this boat, and it scares the shit out of me because a lot of guys do their 9 to 5. They wake up, they spank, they go to work, they hate their job, they come home, they don't work out, they eat like shit, they go to bed, and they do this thing all the way till Friday. And then Friday comes, and they go out and they live this like, oh, I'm gonna burn all my money lifestyle, and it's like, brother, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like see, this is my thing. When it comes to drinking, celebrating, going out, I have no problem with it. But what are you doing it for? If you accomplish them, you get a raise at work, you're doing well in your career, you and your girlfriend want to celebrate, I'm all for it. Go to the club, go to the restaurant, have a glass of wine, have some champagne. But if you are like Blake just said, just living your everyday, just scraping by with the bills, and you're going and spending that money to Fry Street or whatever club it may be, it doesn't really matter the club, and you're just like buying random shots for people or even for yourself, like, what are you celebrating? I'm taking a shot for what? That I'm going back to my job tomorrow and slaving away? I'm not saying don't enjoy yourself, but like, I go out with like my coworkers, like we've had a good week at work, we want to celebrate and go to a little speakeasy bar and grab a shot or two and talk about work. Yeah, I think that's fine. But like, I'm not gonna like go with my random friends and go out to 6th Street or 7th Street, whatever it's called, in Fort Worth and go get hammered for no reason. Like, what am I? One, like, I just don't think it's productive. I'm wasting time and money that I could be editing a YouTube video. I could be working on a podcast. I could be researching sports topics, and I'm sitting here buying random shots.
It's almost like you have to make a decision, right? And it's either extend my brand, extend my notoriety, or maybe that's the wrong word, but
I think it's right.
Right? And it's really like build yourself up or go the other direction. And look, by no means am I shitting on people that go out in DFW. Yeah. Dude, I get it. Like, you live in Dallas, it's fun, go do it, right? But there comes a certain point where it's like, and the crazy thing is when I sat down with a guy, right, a couple weeks ago, we were eating lunch, just wanted to chat. He hadn't seen me in a while. He was like, hey, I'm in the area, can you meet? And I was like, yeah, let's go out and get some lunch or whatever. We sit down and he's like, dude, like, the other day, I went out to the bar. I didn't drink because I had to wake up in the morning, and I looked around at all of my friends drinking, and I sat there and I realized, I was like, wow, sober-minded. I realized, wow, I don't have anything in common with any of these people rather than like we like to drink together. Yeah. And I think if everybody were to hang out with their circle sober for one day, they would realize like, I actually do not like hanging out with this person.
Yeah. Yeah. What are they benefiting? What am I benefiting to them? What are they benefiting to me? Are we helping each other grow? 100%. And the same goes into a relationship, bro. We can get into that now. So like,
cooking with grease now. We're cooking with grease now.
This is where you want to tune in. So when it comes to relationships, I think that you got to make sure, and I had this talk with one of my friends the other day, make sure that you're both benefiting. Like, if you're just with someone because they're good looking or because any external factors, really, like, it doesn't matter if it's for your benefit or their benefit, you got to both be making each other better. If day one of the relationship and you're in month 3 or year 3, whatever it is, and you see that you're still the same person, it's not working. Yeah. You're just using each other. And like, especially like people our age, young 20s, like, of course people like to do, like, you see a hot girl or your girl sees a hot guy, and like, oh, I want to sleep with them, I'm gonna get with them, and then you start dating and like it's cool, and then you get to month 6, 7, or even year 1, and you're like, man,
it's a stranger.
You look good. That's it.
I'm with a stranger. Like, I don't know you anymore.
Like, you gotta, like, this is my thing. And this comes with like dating baddies. It's tough. It is 100% not for everyone. Ooh. It is just not for everyone. Like, when it comes to dating a very good looking girl, this is what comes with it. Other guys think she's good looking.
Well, yeah.
Crazy fact. other guys are going to be looking, other guys are going to be DMing her.
Yeah.
She can literally post you 3 times a day. Other guys are going to be liking her picture, saying how beautiful she is. And I promise you, at least one of those guys is going to have more money than you, be better looking than you, have more followers than you. So like, one, you got to be strong-minded. If you want to keep said girl, I mean, she could be the nicest girl in the world. I'm just saying, if she's good looking, guys are going to hit on her. It does not matter. She could be married. Guys gonna be like, oh my God, you look so good. Like, let me take you out to dinner. So one, you can't be getting insecure about that.
Yeah,
like, you got to be secure in who you are and be like, oh, go ahead, leave me. Like, I'm the best thing that's gonna happen to you. Like, you got to be secure who you are as a man and be like, I know what I bring to the table. And if you want to forego that for some random guy on Instagram who's got a bunch of followers or good looking athlete, celebrity, whatever it may be, then go ahead and do that.
If I could butt in on that,
yeah, go ahead.
I agree with 98% of what you just said. There was that one thing you said where it was like, leave me, and I get exactly what you mean by that. You're like, leave me, you'll find better, right?
Yeah.
But like, realistically, and this is what I learned, right? And so if you go look back at my track record,
yeah,
right?
Go pull up the history, pull up my accolades.
If you go look back on my track record, the end of the relationship was my fault.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing for me, and I learned this during 75 Hard, was like, the biggest thing for me was every relationship that I burned was because either one, I was hammered drunk and I said some stupid shit I didn't mean. 2, I was just lost, right? Just like completely lost, didn't really have any goal going for me. Yeah. And I was just like, I don't want to say I was faking myself. I just like, I just would kind of almost just kind of go with
through the motions.
Go through the motions, right?
Been there.
And so the crazy thing about that is like, for example, like my ex-girlfriend, right? She actually, and this is the craziest part about it, is she actually was a good girl, right? But she was absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. And I was aware, and I know what you just said, how guys are DMing, guys this and that. And here's the thing, you don't give a shit, right? I wasn't insecure about it until I was.
Until you are.
And until it got
I think it's like until the relationship is rocky.
Until the relationship, here's the thing, it was the distance. So we started getting distant. We didn't see each other as much because I got so busy.
Yeah.
And she would go out with her friends, and I was just kind of like, look, like,
I'm already know where you're going.
I know I know they're your friends, right? In her mind, and truthfully, because it's hard. When I say truthfully, it's because 90% of girls know. Yeah. But in her actual mind, I've met her family, I've met everything. They have the exact same principles. In her mind, she was literally like, I am going out with my friends. Yeah. And that was the hardest thing for me to realize. I was like, you're going out, these guys are hitting on.
Yeah.
And that was why that's what fucked me over is I actually let that get to me, and that was where I folded. Yeah. I let that get to me. I was like, damn.
You let it fester in your mind.
And for nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, literally, like, she would like call me in the morning, and every morning I'd get a good morning text, good morning FaceTime, like, ain't no other guy sleeping in her bed. Yeah. And I let it get to me like, damn, she's going out. All these guy friends are not really her friends, and they're not.
Yeah, they're not.
And they're not. But the thing is she didn't see it that way. Yeah. And I will say this, and other guys probably watching this are probably like, nah, dog, you're getting played. But like, seriously, when you actually find that one, right? When you find that one that's actually down like that, and she'll show it to you. Yeah. And you'll actually know, if you have any common sense, you'll actually see right there and go, damn, she's actually down for me.
See, the thing is that you can probably speak on this too. Like, we have just,
and I know the girls that go out and they're like, oh, I know these guys are hitting on me. Right?
Yeah. The culture that we've grown up in and the stuff we see on social media has taught us to not trust your partner. Yep. Just like overall, it doesn't matter, guy, girl, young, old, your partner is going to cheat on you. Your partner wants attention. And so like, when you do get a good girl in your life, like me and you both just had, like,
hold on, before you keep going, what's up with that good? Wait, who's your good girl that you just had?
We all know who that is. We all know. All right, go ahead. You know, you don't want to trust because you've seen other examples. You've seen 9 examples, so you're not gonna trust the 10th good one.
Bingo.
And you're like, well, like, I've seen all the people that look good like you. Like, I know what they do. Like, and then they do all the good examples, and you're like, well, I don't believe that. Like,
exactly.
There's no way that you're going out looking like that. And you're just going for your girlfriends? Because I know how I would act if I was a single guy and I saw you walking up.
You'd act up.
She don't got a boyfriend. I'm on that.
That's
and
exactly
I'm going to go flirt. But it's just hard to be like, no, I just want to enjoy with my friends, have a drink or two, dance with them, tell stories. And you're like, oh.
Damn, she told you that?
Yeah.
Same with mine.
Yeah.
And it's true.
It's
and
like,
guys
it's
hit on
those too good to treat. Guys still hit on
them. But like, if they're actually doing what that, then
they'll like show them to their friends. Like, oh, I got a boyfriend. Matter.
If I'm her fucking back screen.
Yeah.
Like, right? She's not getting her back blown out when I'm her back screen, right? And if she is,
you hope.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Right?
Hopefully she's not just pulling that up. But like,
hopefully she ain't
it's
hitting
just, I think it's
she ain't hitting the switch on the.
I think it's just so hard for us men to believe that like one girl would be just down for us.
You got to look at the family.
Yeah.
You got to go look at the family, bro.
And the last 2 girlfriends I've had, I've met their family, was friends with them, like good people, had Thanksgiving with them, gone to church, and I'm like, whole 9. And it's just like, I seen your daughter, she seems like a great person, but it's just like, is it
genuine?
Is it a facade? Is it genuine? It's like, because sometimes girls and guys play the long game. Play it smooth so that they can get away with other stuff. Super nice, all up front. And then the moment that you're not thinking, boom, they got a side piece. So I think it's always in the back of people's heads.
I honestly, this whole side piece, like, I'm not gonna lie. If you can't tell that the chick you're with has something on the side, vice versa, chicks, if you can't tell guys have something on the side, wake up. Like, it's right in front of you. Like, it's not hard.
What would you say are some signs that you can tell your partner is being a little unfaithful?
Well,
not obvious ones, like they're
not
texting you and they're like,
no,
out.
I mean,
little signs.
I would honestly say, like, it's not even so much signs. Maybe it's just like characteristics that you ask to change. So, like, for example, when my girlfriend asked me, "Hey, Blake, you get too hammered when you go out with the boys, right? Reel it back a little bit." If I don't go out and reel it back a little bit, and I'm just basically like, fuck what she says, I actually prone myself to succumbing to weakness, right? Because if I'm not even able for the partner, the person who loves me, to actually do something because she's trying to help me, she's like, you get too drunk. When you get too drunk, this happens. You go down this shitty road, right? And so if I don't actually listen to the person that's trying to help me, inevitably I'm going to succumb and become a weaker man because of it. It's just, and that's not just with girlfriends. That's anybody. If you have a friend who's trying to help you out, right? And he's like, dude, you keep getting drunk, you keep fighting, right? If you keep doing this, you're going to get in trouble and it's going to fuck your life up. Yeah. And if you keep going out, keep drinking the same, and I can name a lot of dudes that I still know that do this. Yeah. And I've seen their life ruined for it. Yeah. And it's the same with your relationship. And if you start doing it, it just becomes unattractive to them. They start pushing you out. Yeah. You start trying to run in. Yeah. When you start doing that as a man, and I'm not saying I've ever kind of ran towards, but like I've seen it. When you start running in towards a man and they start pushing you out and you're not changing, it's failing.
I think, like, speaking from like a guy, when it comes to like noticing your girls acting different, is like little things like you're in the room with them and they're on their phone. Like that's a pet peeve for mine. Like if we're hanging out and we're like, I got off work and I come home, we're going to eat, watch a movie, whatever, and you're on your phone, it's like...
My girl never did that.
Yeah, it's like you could have been on your phone the whole time. So I'm here with you. We don't have that much time together. We have maybe 2-3 hours, maybe even an hour before you want to go to sleep or I want to go to sleep. So let's enjoy this time together. If they're on their phone, they're pretty much saying, you're not that important. No, I'm not saying you can't answer a phone call, mom calls, whatever. I'm just saying texting on TikTok. TikTok was the worst. TikTok's a demon.
TikTok is single-handedly destroying America. I don't want to get too controversial.
No, TikTok do it. Oh my God, literally, America. TikTok.
China is destroyed. They are destroying. And I don't want to interrupt you, but do you know what the hell they were watching in China all these years? Do you know what they're watching? Yeah. They're watching engineering videos. Like if you actually go look, the stuff on that the Chinese kids and other kids were looking at over there, they were actually watching space. Explorer. We're watching throw that ass, that. And like our minds are so fucked. We're watching Andrew Tate, Bugatti this, Bugatti that, and it's like kids are, dude. I had a kid DM me on Instagram and say, "How much money do you make with your marketing agency?" And I gave him a relative figure. I didn't just give him my number. I just told him like, "Oh, here we did this, and that, and this is how much it really comes out to." That kid said, "Oh, yeah." If I'm not making $100K a month, it's just not for me. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, bro, I could give you my script in my Google Drive right now. I have a fucking Google Drive that can make you $10K a month right now. If I gave you that Google Drive that can make you $10K a month, you couldn't go out and make $10K a month because you have zero sales experience. You have nothing. Yeah. And these people think that it's just like, oh, Andrew Tate did it. He got the spaghetti.
It's because like
it's bullshit.
TikTok culture and like this is like even just like fast food culture where everybody wants stuff now. You don't want to work for it. You're like, I want to just think I want it and I want to start this podcast and the next day it's going to have 10,000 subscribers and I'm getting all this ad revenue. It's like, bro, it's going to take a couple years. It's going to take a couple months. Like it's going to take some grind, bro. It's not just going to be, you think Michael Jordan just woke up and was like, I'm just the best basketball player. Like it literally took him, like, not to get too corny, getting cut from his high school basketball team, grinding for months and years to becoming the best basketball player ever. Debatable. LeBron.
He got the shit beat out of him.
But like, yeah, like these none of
Wait,
these.
wait, what'd you say about? Wait, hold up. You said something about LeBron. What'd you say?
LeBron's definitely the GOAT.
Oh man. See, all the new blood thinks all that shit, right? It just depends on what. Honestly, I think that debate really comes down to how do you view basketball?
Yeah.
Do you view basketball as a scoring game, or do you
Yeah.
view basketball as a physical game?
Yeah.
If you view basketball as a physical, like dominant, strong game,
I mean, if
I
you're doing
think
that, I
MJ
might give it to Shaq. If it's just
well,
dominant.
that's what I'm saying. That era,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So and Kobe.
Yeah.
I mean,
it really is.
but if you're talking about pure,
that's the hard
talent,
part.
LeBron. Like if you're talking about someone who's just like absolutely a freak of nature,
Yeah.
like LeBron is
That's the hard part when it
he's
comes
a
to really any basketball debates, and like it's really no right answer because it's not like there's a statistic that says it's the best. It's like if you want to go off just who's won the most championships and you're going Bill Russell, John Havlicek, like you're going people like that. If you're doing the scoring title, it's LeBron. If you're doing best finals win rate, then it's MJ. Like it, it depends what you're valuing more because like technically winning the finals is a team sport. Like MJ didn't score every single point and play defense on every single player. So it's not like he won 6 finals all because of just him.
MJ's the GOAT.
All right.
Changed my mind.
Let's get into another stuff. So real estate. You're a real estate guru.
No. I'm not.
He's a guru. Don't let him trick you.
I'm really not. I promise you. I know guys that know way more about real estate than me. I'm way more in my marketing agency than really real estate.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean I don't really know just by following them, listening to them, being in the same programs, masterminds? I definitely keep my ears open to it. But I wholeheartily promise you, I am actually
cut the topic. No, I'm playing.
No, don't cut the topic.
But
I wholeheartedly, realistically mean like I am no expert in it. There are guys who, and here's the thing: if you spend 18 minutes a day. Sorry, 18 hours a day is 18. If you spend 18 minutes a day working on something, you're going to be better than 95% of the world.
Yeah.
At it. If you do that for a whole year. 18 minutes a day for a whole year, you're gonna be better than 95% of the world. So if you I'm spending hours on my agency. I'm probably, and I just talked with someone yesterday in an interview who runs Shamrock Roofing, right? Shamrock Roofing is all up through the Midwest. Their company is about to hit $60 million in revenue this year. And he manages $2 million in ad spend. And so I'm sitting here and I'm talking to this guy, and that's what I know, right? But I do have a good, so if you want to get into real estate, I can tell you what
give me the real estate for dummies, like step 1.
Well, I mean, that's such a broad, like, are you trying to buy?
You're trying to buy a house and you want to flip it and you want to rent it out. So let's just start with that because that's one thing I've actually seen happen. So you buy a property and you want to rent this out monthly and make some money from it, and you have your own house that you stay in, you want to make a little extra side money.
I can give you what I know. I can't give you the expert answer, but I can give you what I know.
Give me the Maddox math.
Well, and like I said, I am absolutely, this actually could be wrong, but I'm going to give you what I know, and this is a very broad answer.
Yeah.
So my question is, are you trying to say you want to buy this house like you buy it outright, or you take a mortgage out on it?
Let's just say you buy it outright. So
that's extremely stupid for what you're trying to do.
Okay, good answer. Okay, so you're taking a mortgage out.
You take a mortgage out.
You're getting someone else to kind of take over the payment.
So I mean, if you buy it outright, are you saying like pay it completely off?
Yeah. So tell the people
why
that's
did
stupid.
With my house, and it was like the stupidest thing.
Tell the people why it's stupid. I think a lot of people, myself included, don't know why that'd be stupid.
Why would you buy? So my question is, why would you buy a house for $500,000 and you buy it outright? You pay $500,000 for a house when the property value goes up, when you become liable for all of the things that happen, right? So you have a plumbing issue, you have this and that. You're spending tens of thousands of dollars in repairs. If you actually look at the number over time, if you actually buy outright, it's a bad investment. Now, what's a good investment is if you take a good mortgage out, and right now the rates are fucked. So like this isn't like, I wouldn't even recommend anybody doing this.
Don't do this right now. Save it in your bookmarks.
But like I know guys that got it. I know guys that had great credit score, they got it at a great rate, and they bought it. They live in it for a year, or they do the FHA loan, right? So they get it at 3.5%. They put 3.5% down. So let's say the house is $100,000. I'm just speaking relative terms because it's easy math. So you do $100,000. So that means you put $3,500 down. That's 3.5%. You put that down on the house. Now you can't get a house for $100,000 anymore. But I'm just making it easy math, right? So you put that money down, and then you actually can get the house with the loan, the mortgage, all that crap, right? You have to live in that house for 1 year. So this is why people do this with duplexes, right? And multifamilies. They'll live there for 1 year, and then they'll rent they'll renovate it, and they'll rent all of those spaces out. So let's say, for example, like I said, it's not real, but $100,000 duplex, $3,500 down, and then you live there for 1 year, make the payments on, etc., and then you move out, you rent out those 2 spots. That rent money will pay for your mortgage, pay for all these things. So you're building equity, right? So all the biggest, Grant Cardone, all these guys, they build equity. Grant Cardone goes and buys apartment complexes, and then he renovates them, or he gets a mortgage out on them. He pays $1 million on it, and it's a huge complex. And then he goes and rents 400 units out. You know how you can make your money back in the first 2 years. Yeah. And then on top of that, you're making money in the back, and the property value is increasing. You're building equity, because over time, real estate is pretty much the only proven, the only thing that goes up over time. The only proven method that goes up over time, like the value of appreciation. But there's another term I wanted to use. I can't remember it, but it's the only thing that just consistently is not gonna go anywhere, right? And so that's basically what these people do. Now, if you're talking in terms of being a real estate agent, it's completely different.
Okay, so talk to me. This is it's still on topic, but say you're going on vacation. You want to go to Cozumel. And what would you say is the best way to get somewhere to stay? Would you say a hotel, Airbnb, a hostel? What would be your 411 on what you think you should do? Because I've been an Airbnb guy.
It's really funny. Because here's the question. Are you going there on a business trip?
No. Let's say just boys trip.
Okay, well, what I'd recommend you do before you get a boys trip is start a business.
Okay.
And then go on that trip and have it be a business trip.
Okay, explain.
Yeah, you get to expense everything. Ooh. Take someone on a business trip and expense everything. Look, if Uncle Sam is going to take your money.
Hate Uncle Sam.
Let's say I give someone, you make $100,000 this year, right? You're gonna pay 35. You're gonna pay so much money of that out. I don't even know the percent. I might be wrong. It might be 28% or 30% now. You're gonna pay that money to him. So let's say you net, right, after all the bullshit, you net $50K, and they're gonna tax you on $50,000 taxable income. Well, why throughout the entire year are you not riding off your if you're on the road for your job and you stop and get food with somebody, why are you not riding that off, right? If you were going somewhere for business, you stop and do things for everything that I do is business. Yeah. Every single thing I do. If I'm getting lunch, but everything I do is business.
This is business.
You have to now get a good accountant. I'm not saying go to Chipotle and write it off every time on your American Express card, but I do know people that do it. And all I'm saying is get a good accountant that can tell you exactly what you can and can't write off. Because at the end of the day, I know guys that are making $250,000 and they're taking home, they're getting taxed on nothing. And that's really
I need to figure out those hacks. I just got taxed $3K for being a server at Rustico.
That's really what it comes down to, bro. It's like if you don't know how to play the tax game, then that's what all of the multi-billionaires do. The multi-billionaires,
we know.
All of those guys, they live in debt.
Yeah.
Because they basically, and I'm not an expert, but they basically take loans, or they take money against themselves and their companies, and they leverage that because you don't have to pay tax on debt. Yeah. If you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, he talks all about it. He's all about living in debt. But the thing is, you have a lot of equity, but at the end of the day, they live in debt because debt is not taxable. That's why you see Trump and you're like, how the hell did Trump pay no taxes this year? That's what they do.
So I was talking to someone the other day, and tell me if this is true. They said that their grandfather never paid taxes, whole life, didn't pay a single tax, made a lot of money. Okay. And he had a lot of money in savings and then his will and whatnot. And then when he passed away, they came to the family when he had to do his tax stuff to take him off tax documents, his obituary, all that good stuff. They were like, you owe X amount of money. And it was a lot of money. And they were freaking out, how are we going to pay this? And he had so much money in his will that they used that money to pay off that tax. Is that a good plan, or is that everybody should not do that?
I have absolutely no idea what that is. I will say right now,
it was a life insurance plan.
Last year, I got a whole life insurance policy. Right, I pay $6,000 a year for a $1 million death benefit. So right now, my parents are my beneficiary, right? So if I get married and have kids, then my family becomes my beneficiary. But here's the thing. It's a long-term play. So you can do 401k, you can do Roth IRA, and I'm not saying don't do them, but if you're young, if you're healthy, and you're making a good amount of money, get a whole life insurance policy. And I have 2 financial advisors I talk to once a month, Gary and Mark. Love you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing. They've saved me so much fucking money. And a whole life insurance policy, basically, like I said, you pay the $6,000, but your death or your net cash value increases every single year. And here's the thing, it's tax free. Now you get taxed on the income. So if like I make $6K and I pay them, I'm still gonna have to pay the tax on $6K, but it doesn't matter because your net cash value over your lifetime goes up, right? And you can actually take out your net cash value whenever you want.
Yeah.
And you don't have to pay it back.
Yeah.
So like, let's say for example, I'm at a half $500,000 in net cash value. I can pull that money out tax free and go buy a piece of real estate.
Ooh.
And then I can go invest in a piece of real estate, renovate it, flip it, boom, pay the money back, boom, and I just made $30K.
I hope y'all are listening. This guy is giving cloth talk right now. He is giving y'all the sauce for free.
And you're gonna have some people whenever we chop it up. You're gonna have some people that are like, "Oh, that's not right." But like, I'm speaking a very broad term. That's not exactly how it works. It's a lot more detailed than that. But that's what the rich do. They take money out against themselves. They invest it. They make their money, and then they put the money back, and then they keep the profit.
So I see you're very involved, at least I see on Instagram, with Mr. Billy Cox. Is that correct?
Mr. Billy Cox. Billy Cox is a great guy.
So tell me about y'all's relationship, how y'all met, how that's been. You know, you can give me just a quick little synopsis.
So realistically, when I met Billy, he used to be in motivational speaking a long time ago. He's very, very well affiliated with the Ziglar Foundation. If you Google who Zig Ziglar was, he was the biggest motivational speaker in the whole world for 25 years. He has the biggest legacy in motivational speaking in the history of the world. Yeah. He packed arenas when he was sick to the bone, like about to pass away. He still packed arenas. And we actually have the Ziglar office here located in Highland Village. Or I believe Tom, Zig Ziglar's son, is over in Frisco, where he's from, in Plano, where he's from. But they still have his wall of all of his memorables and all of the handle, the pump handle, everything he did on stage. They have it here in Highland Village. And it's amazing that we get to work in the office. Now, our relationship with Billy in terms of like actively working for them, we just finished out basically all the things we needed to do for him, but me and him still chat every single day. But we were in the office with Billy from January till mid-April.
So how'd you get involved? Like, how did that start?
Roadhouse, baby. We were at the Texas Roadhouse sitting there at the bar. And
it happens, guys.
We were in marketing, right? And we're sitting at the bar, and this guy sits down. My partner starts chatting with him. And next thing you know, he's like, I kind of need somebody like you, right? And we're underqualified for what he needs.
Yeah.
And so we go in, we tell him we can like build him out a website and do all this stuff, right? We're about to delegate this overseas to Pakistan or Ukraine or whoever takes care of all the development. We use currency arbitrage, which is a method of where you make bold promises that you can deliver on, by the way. Like I can tell you, I can build you an app. Like I can build you an app. It's going to cost $20K, right? Then I go to Pakistan, pay someone $5K to make the app. I make 15. Yeah. Right? Because the currency. Yeah. Because $100 in Pakistan, $100 in Pakistan, that pays for everything they need for a whole month, right? So if you can leverage that, and that's what we do. We have a call center in Lebanon. They work for a couple dollars an hour, right? Yeah. When someone in the U.S. works for 10. Yeah. And so this is how you build these businesses, and you have to train. That's the only thing you realistically have to train. But with Billy Cox, for example, we were going to build him out a website, and then we started chatting. We started getting involved with the whole, like, what's going on with the world? Like, everybody's so messed up. Everybody has all these problems. These guys are weak. You got guys dressing up in dresses, transgenderism, all this stuff. And I'm not saying, like, those people need to, like, go away forever. I don't really appreciate being told I have to celebrate a guy dressing like a girl. I think that's actually pretty disgusting. But the thing about it is with Billy, he was basically on the same page. He was like, this is crazy. Like the world's going crazy. So what we actually ended up helping him develop, we were only supposed to work for him for like a month and do this for him. But then we started working on this project called The Movement, right? And so then we bought the domain, themvmt.com. And we're basically what we're trying to do is create for him. We were trying to create a sort of mastermind place where kids who don't want to go to college, who maybe don't have a good parenthood, who just want to learn business, who might want to be in sales, who want to live that sort of TikTok lifestyle. It's attainable, but you need to start young, right? And they have no guidance. And so we're basically trying to create a platform similar to a mastermind to help kids do this. And not just kids. We built out an entire course called Business Builder Pro. We're launching it in May or June, and they're shooting it right now in Highland Village. They're shooting all the content for it, and it has everything. It has every single thing you need to start a business, and for an extremely affordable price. And you get the mastermind, you get the network, you get the Discord chat, you get everything.
Well, we'll definitely go support. What's a link? I'll put it up. We'll put it up right there on screen. What's a link that they can go to go support all this?
Yeah, I mean, so if you can either number one, you can either follow me on Instagram, Blake with 2 E's, Maddox. That's just it.
We'll have it up on screen.
Yeah, and you can also go to the mvmt.com. Right now, it's not completely complete. Like, we have placeholders right now that say coming soon, but there is a launch date in mind, and whenever we launch this, it's gonna help a lot of people.
Well,
and the thing is I want to be as involved in it as possible with me having my roofing agency right now and working on that. So.
Well, y'all go support all of that and show some good love over there. Tell them SwankyB sent you and get them some more followers. Let's get you some more mimosas here.
Yeah. All right. Bingo. We're back.
This will be at the end of the
cool.
pod.
Great. Yeah.
So
awesome. Where are we at?
So like we broke up and
oh, we're jumping into that now. Okay.
I said this could be a bonus clip.
bonus clip.
We broke.
Before you go, I asked him because we were chatting. I said, did we talk about girls or ex-girlfriend or anything yet? And he said, yeah, we kind of did. But I said, no, I talked about mine, but you haven't talked about yours. And he said, oh, okay, all right. So
we broke up in the beginning of last summer. So it's almost been a whole 365 days since we've been officially broken up, if you will. And like, as you probably know, like after you break up, like the next 2 days, you're not really broken up. Like we were still like texting each other like we were together, like come over. And I was like, I don't know. She was like, I don't know. And then we end up going to get Chick-fil-A. Oh, just take one ride. And so like, for the next like week, we were still like kind of together. And then
did you give her the McFlurry or
I
what?
gave her the McFlurry.
Wow.
No M&Ms.
No M&Ms.
Extra Oreos.
Wow.
No, I'm playing. And then we were like, okay, we need to like stop. Like we're not together. Like it starts getting where you have a friend over and you're like, well, I can't invite because I told them we were broken up. So now how's that gonna look? I'm gonna look weak. So then we kind of like cut it off. And then we were still texting each other. Like it wasn't like, hey baby, I miss you. It was more like once or twice a week, how you doing? Like just kind of keep in touch, keep in base. Cause like I'll be completely honest. Like half of mine was like after we broke up, I was like insecurity went through the roof. I'm like, all those guys I was thinking about, they're now all gonna be in her phone. She's going to give in. She's single. And, like, I was letting that fester in my mind.
She hasn't.
Yeah. And then, like.
I follow her.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything.
I don't see anything.
My spy. And then later on, like, months later go by. And I was just like, I don't care. Like, she's single. If she wants to do that, like, that's not my responsibility to be, like, on top of her. Like, but you have to go through that period where you let it go. Because if you don't, like, it is in your next relationship, it's going to eat you up. You're going to be like, well, I didn't trust her, so how can I trust this girl? So like until you truly get over it, it's not responsible to get into another relationship, which is why I'm still currently single. At the time, like I'm not purposely single because of that, but at the time, why I was still like not looking for anything because I was like I hadn't gotten over that. And so once you do that, then it's able to be where you can just move on. And like she works at the gym I go to, so if I see her, like it's not weird, I'm like, hey, what's up?
Oh, you go to the same gym?
Yeah, she works there. She works at Fitness Connection.
In Den?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, although you want to know the worst part? This is the worst part. So she's a very beautiful young lady. She was on the advertisements, bro.
Yeah, she was.
Like, you know when you go through Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube? Oh, join Fitness Connection
shit.
for $10 a month. Boom. There she is, front and center, smiling, hair done. I'm just like,
yeah.
All right. There goes getting over her. There's another ad every other day of Instagram and TikTok telling me how good looking she is. So, but that's part of that comes with it. That was going back to dating a baddie. Like, it's just part of it comes with, you got to realize other people, other companies, like other people are going to be thinking she is also good looking. Cause
she is.
Like, that's not the only reason that's the reason you were interested in her. Like, if you want to date a mid girl, you're not going to have all these problems. You don't got people. You don't got to worry about all that. You're like, oh, she's not going to cheat. I mean, mid girls still cheat, but.
Wow. But not, you're saying not as much?
The rate's probably a little lower. The rate is probably a little lower.
No, I definitely see where you're coming from. But, I mean, that really comes down, and like you said, like we said earlier, it really comes down to how, like, secure are you as a man? Like, how do you feel about it? And honestly, and I think we speak for a lot of guys. You know, we have this big, like, guys have this big dominant warrior, like, I don't give a shit. She's going out. She's fucking her life up while I'm fixing myself. Yeah. And then they go take a hot shower, and they're like, damn, I'm fucking. And here's the thing about it. It's like, you need those hot showers.
Yeah.
You need to go through that, like, damn, she's out. She looks really good. Yeah. And there ain't a motherfucking thing I can do.
There's nothing
to fix it.
The only thing I can do is internally fix myself.
And And that's where you either make it or break it.
It's
as a
right
man.
there.
As a man.
A big hard breakup, a year, 2-3 year relationship, and after dating a good looking girl, how do you bounce back?
Before you know it, a year flies by, right? And I actually, so post 75 hard, throughout the entire 75 hard, me and my ex-girlfriend didn't talk.
Yeah.
And this was like my rock, right?
And y'all were together at the time.
No, we broke
Okay,
up
y'all
in
broke up.
December,
Yeah,
and then I
that's what I
started
thought.
in January. I started January 1st.
Yeah.
I didn't say that earlier. I started January 1st. I started 75 hard. So March 16th. March 16th is when 75 days came up. That was a Thursday. I go out on a Friday with the boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go out. Everybody's like, dang, you look different.
Yeah,
I see you've been keeping up with you. I'm sitting there. I'm talking to my boy. We're at a rooftop bar, one of 40 in Dallas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, he's here.
Oh,
And I'm like, I'm like, what do you
What are
mean?
the
I'm still looking at him. I'm like, what do you mean?
Uh-huh.
And then he goes, she's here. Bree's here. And I said, no, she's not. And I look over this chick to the left of him, and Hannah Minch.
Yeah.
And she
Hannah.
goes, Bree's here. And I fucking turn around, and I see her, and she gives me this big old wave, looking like a fucking snack.
And
She
you're
looks-
like,
and I'm just like, God, I was hoping she was gonna be ugly.
Yeah.
And so you know, we chat, and I tell her when I see her, I'm like, you know, it's been a while, maybe we should catch up, grab lunch, right?
Yeah.
So we ended up catching up. We went out to lunch on that Sunday. That was about a month ago to now.
Yeah.
So it was about like at the end of March, and we had a good time.
Have
And,
lunch, guy.
yeah, we caught up, and then we caught up. But the thing is, I haven't seen her since.
Yeah.
And I think it was good for both of us because we got to get everything we had on our chest. And the coolest thing about the whole thing is I was like, I can't tell you how many nights on that run in the afternoon for 75 hard where I was running and I looked up at the sky listening to the Yellow by Coldplay, like that sad song. And I told her this while we were driving, right? And I told him like, I can't tell you like how many nights I just would force myself. Like I kept playing it because it reminded me of her, and I kept doing it to myself because I kept trying to beat it out of me.
Yeah.
And I kind of did. And I told her that in person, and she just broke.
Yeah.
And she just told me, she was like, I can't tell you. I think about you every single day too.
Yeah.
And it was kind of sad because we still really care about each other, but like it's
It's not the
we're
right
just
time.
yeah, bro. We're in two elements of life, man.
Dude, literally, it's crazy to hear that because like it's kind of the same thing. Mine was just pushed back a couple more months. So like I said, I went through that period of not talking, like on and off. She was traveling to Atlanta, to Vegas. I'm like, oh my God, whatever. Comes back in town, school starts, and I'm like, I run into her first day of class, and I'm just like, you wanna get some lunch? Like we're already right next to each other. And she's like, sure, chop it up. Obviously, we're both like excited to see each other. We haven't seen each other in months. You look good, yada yada. Oh, let's go get some ice cream. Let's go get some coffee. And then you do that, and you're like, what are we doing? You're like, I miss you, but it's like we broke up for a reason. And it's like you want it to work just because it's like this person's obviously attractive. You already have history with them. It's easy to talk to them. But then you're like,
I can see
what are we
it.
doing?
I can see it.
We're not going anywhere with this. And
it was hot.
Yeah.
It was hot to catch up.
Yeah.
But then that next morning, I'm looking at her and she's looking at me, and we're like, you know,
Yeah.
what?
And see, this is my
Like,
thing.
I love you, but what?
When you're dating, and like that's both things. We both like I love you, and like we both want the best for each other, and like we both want it to work. Like it's not like, oh, I'm glad we broke up and I hated your ass. It was miserable. It's like we wanted it to work. We still want it to work, but it's just, let's be honest with ourselves, it's not right now.
Yeah.
And I think this is the biggest thing with a relationship. You have got to enjoy the mundane things. I think it's so easy to enjoy going out, going on trips, going to the club, having a nice dinner, going out with friends. Everyone enjoys it, especially if you have a good-looking partner and you're with friends, or you're just having a good time. You're celebrating a birthday, whatever it may be, going on a vacation. But like if you don't enjoy walking the dog, getting groceries, making food, texting them when you're coming home, if that stuff doesn't get you excited, then it's not the one. That's the only thing I have to say. I've said that to all my friends. Like,
It's very true.
like those little things, you gotta have it's gotta be like your best friend. The same way you are with your girlfriend. Like if you're a girl with your girlfriend, or if you're a guy with your guy friend, and you're like, man, I can't wait to get on the game with him. Like what's the word called? The endorphins. Like it gets like you're like, oh
The
my God,
dopamine effect.
the dopamine. Like I want to go hang out with them. Like it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
For a girl, like, oh, we're gonna go get our nails done, or we're gonna go shopping, and you get excited all day thinking about it. If you're not the same way with like, oh my God, I get to go see my boyfriend at home. Now, obviously it wears down over time. You're not going to be as day one it is to year 3. But in general, you should be excited to see that person no matter the circumstance.
Yeah, I my best memories with my ex-girlfriend was just cooking salmon, rice, and asparagus in the kitchen, and her just going, "Damn, you can cook!" And
it's like shooting the shit, little stuff.
And Fredericksburg, when I took her on a Fredericksburg trip, so what I did was I actually.
This is turned into a relationship podcast.
Hey, and guys, take notes because this got me so far, right? And I became a shitty boyfriend after a while, but this got me really far, right? So what I did was I told her, I said, "Hey, her birthday was on Saturday, like a Saturday or something." And on Friday, I said, "Hey, get your stuff ready. We're going on a trip."
Yeah.
I didn't tell her where we're going. And so I don't know if you're familiar with Fredericksburg. It's in Texas. It's like a wine kind of area where they have like vineyards and all that type of stuff. And she didn't know where we were going. And so we get on the road. We're driving out of Dallas, and she's like on the map trying to figure out. I'm like, get off the map. And so she's trying to find out like, where the fuck is he taking me? And when we start getting to the point where the signs start saying Fredericksburg 90 miles, Fredericksburg 50 miles, right? I make her like look away, like I blindfold her, like she didn't know where we were. And this is when the Astros, this was back in 2021 or 2022. This is when the Astros were playing in the World Series. And she didn't know where we were. And so we got to the Airbnb, nice, had a pool in the back, had like a little cabana outside, inside. It was like $1,000 a night. Airbnb in Fredericksburg, which is like, it was like top of the line.
Yeah.
And there's another couple at the cabana across from us in the backyard too. She didn't know where we were at until I said, "Hey, new like neighbor, can you tell her where we're at?" And then she goes, "Oh, baby, you're in Fredericksburg." And she just like melted. And I just remember like her ramping about it and just saying like, that was one of my favorite trips because like, imagine someone doing that to you. Imagine a girl like blindfolding you and taking you to like motherfucking Florida or somewhere crazy that you've always wanted to visit. And you get there and you don't even know where you're at until your bags are in the hotel and your bags are in the Airbnb room. And then like some stranger tells you like, "Oh dog, we're in Florida right now."
See, that's things that like guys don't do anymore. And, us two lovers at heart, you got to spoil your girl. And I'm not saying go buy her Louis Vuitton bags every week and a new purse.
Nah, fuck Louis Vuitton bag. That shit meant more. And she comes from a very successful family. She has every motherfucking Louis bag.
It's the little things, bro. It's like, it's the
memorable things.
It's the stuff that you can't ask for.
Yeah.
I can't ask to be surprised and be put in this place and have this on and have this like, it's like doing it, and obviously that was a grand example, but it could be the same as like buying her cookies, her favorite cookies, and having them waiting. Her
showing up to her apartment unannounced.
Yeah,
do something outside of the box. Stop like texting her like, "What we doing tonight? Netflix." Go out, grab food. And that is kind of where our relationship are failing, is when I got so busy and I was just like,
dude, I was the same. It was just like, let's just stay in the habit.
I made one attempt to go see her a week, and it was just like, get there, take her out to dinner, go home, grab a bottle of wine, hook up, like do the thing, and then like pass out together.
Yeah. It's got to be like, you got to think, like you said, outside the box, like, go get her favorite food. If you're dating her for a while, you should know what it is and just bring it to her house after school or
at least
work.
Like, dude, take initiative and book the dinner.
Yeah.
Like, if you know she likes sushi, go to the motherfucking nice sushi place downtown Dallas that you know she likes. Book that appointment. So when you get there, you're like, get ready. And she's like, what are we doing? You're like, we're going to dinner. She's like, where are we going? You're like, you'll see when we get there.
Your favorite spot. Like, oh, get nice. I'll take care of it. Drive, pick her up. Yeah. You don't have to. You can have flowers.
How should I dress? How should I dress? I'm like, just be you.
Whatever you want.
And she doesn't even know. She's all confused and shit. Yeah. She doesn't know what that means.
See, my girl's like, no, I gotta know. I hate surprises. What do I gotta wear? What am I gonna wear? Who's gonna be there? What's the dress code?
So is mine. But that's,
all right,
that's the fun though. It's because then they'll do themselves up 10 times over. And then even when they've realized like, oh my God, it was just my favorite place, I shouldn't have done all this. Yeah. The dopamine is like, they're so excited. And you'd be the same way.
The anticipation's better than the payoff 90% of the time, bro.
100% of the time.
It's always like getting ready for that big game or getting ready for that big date or meeting the girl for the first time or texting. Like, the payoff is like whatever. It's still great, but it's just like the thought of and your mind festering of all these different possibilities, things that go right and wrong, and like getting yourself hyped up to. But
and that's the difference between men and women.
Yeah.
So the difference between men and women is if you were, I call it the train station, and it might have been in our fraternity book, but basically the overview of it is, and I might be wrong, it might just be called the station. So there's
that at the train?
Yeah, there's a train station, and then there's your destination. So many, and I can say guys versus girls, so many guys are so caught up on the destination, like where I'm going. I want to be rich. I want the mansion. I want the Bugattis. I want the fast cars. I want the beautiful women. I want the money. I want the fame. I want everything, right? But they never enjoy the journey to the destination. Mm-hmm. And it's a beautiful thought. Like, if you actually think about it, women enjoy the entire journey. Mm-hmm. Men just look for the destination. Yeah. That's why if you ask any older men, hey man, If you walk up to an old guy at a Walmart, you go, hey, man, he's 7 years old. You go, hey, man, how fast did it go? They'll always look back at you and go, I remember being just like you. And they do. They remember exactly. And women are the same, but they're also a little opposite. They enjoy every aspect of life. And that's why our girls will go out. They'll enjoy themselves. They'll have fun. They'll take care of their stuff. But our main goal is like, I'm just trying to get rich. I'm just trying to get famous. Because when I get all these things, then life
all work out.
Then life falls into my place. But in reality,
you do all of that, and then you're 80
you're
years
40.
old.
You're 40 or 50,
And you're like,
and you're popping Cialis.
And
You're
like,
trying to make it work, and your life is like as you knew it is over. So as you know it is over. So the sad thing is like I fight that myself. I'm always focused on like, oh, man, I want to be this, I want to be that, and like my roommate will even pull me back and be like, bro.
You gotta enjoy the moment.
We closed 4 fucking deals today. We made a shit ton of money. Like, what are you not happy about?
And see, the thing is, you don't even have to even think as grand as like that. You can almost just think like, bro, I woke up today. Yeah,
that's the biggest thing. I saw a Bradley, and I don't want to ramble, but I saw Bradley. You know who Bradley is?
Bradley Martin?
No, Bradley. Bradley is he's some business guy, right?
Okay.
You probably don't know what he is. He's not like super famous, but he's kind of like an Ed Milet or some motivational business guy. And he was on FaceTime with this couple, and then I watched this video. It changed my perspective on life. He said something to them like, if I were to offer you $10 million, would you take it? What the fuck? Yeah, I would take it. And then he said, if I offered you $10 million, but you couldn't wake up tomorrow, would you take it? And they were like, absolutely not. And he goes, why not? And they explained like, well, like I love being alive. I love life. And then he goes, if that's your mentality, if you're so focused on making $10 million or $1 million or whatever it is, why are you not as excited to wake up every day? Yeah. You woke up, bro. You get another shot at life while people are dead. Yeah. Right. And so like when I watched that, I was like, holy shit. Like just waking up is actually a blessing. And it's crazy.
People don't take that, bro. Like,
one day you're not going to wake up.
One day you're not, bro. Like you got to like, I woke up, I get a chance to be great and change the world, bro. Like you think like your little impact, like whatever followers you have, you could have 100 followers on Instagram, 1,000 or 10K, bro. You are influencing those people. So whatever you post, whatever you portray, like that can go a long way. So if you want to be lazy and portray that, you're probably gonna have lazy people following you. That's people. But if you want to like, I only got 200 followers, but I'm gonna post every day me working out. I'm gonna post every day me doing my schoolwork, whatever it may be, and you have a positive mindset, that stuff is gonna fester. And the people that are around you, that's how you're gonna act too. Like if you're around people who only smoke weed and do drugs and go party, there's a good chance you're probably gonna do the same. If you're around people who are always business like-minded and trying to better themselves and entrepreneurs, you're probably gonna be the same. You're around scholars and mathematicians, you're probably gonna be the same. Like you're around the apples that are on your tree. So show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Yeah, it all makes sense. And honestly, like I asked myself as well as I've asked people this question. I'm like, do you want? And this is a great quote. I don't think it's quoted by anybody, but I've heard something similar to it. By Maddox? I put my own, quoted by Maddox. Yeah. Do you want success or do you want what comes with success? So it's almost like if you want success. Is that my new bio? Right? If you want success does not come without sacrifice. Yeah. And you can't have success without sacrifice. Yeah. Right? And I think everybody wants success, but they're not willing to sacrifice for success. Like, do I want to go out? Yeah. Do I know that right now, if I went out every single Friday and Saturday and kind of hung around and with the boys and bumped into my ex every once in a while, do I have a doubt in my mind that maybe we could rekindle and make things work? Or not even just her, in business terms, do I doubt that if I go out and bump into people, I'm shaking new hands? Look, if you want to grow personally, professionally, or any stage of your life, you're going to have to sacrifice something, right? You got to sacrifice. And that's something for us, our age, whoever's watching it, 20 to 25, that sacrifice is going out, bro. It's going out. You gotta give it up. Speaking of sacrifice, that gets into our next topic, AI, which is the epitome of not sacrificing, honestly. And me personally, I love it because I live a busy life. So having tools like ChatGPT, all these different AI tools, bro. One, don't get me wrong, it's kind of crazy, but I think it's kind of helpful. Like there's been times where I've needed to write up a quick email to someone, and instead of writing out this super long professional email, I just write a professional email asking for X, Y, and Z, or write out a memo and it can do it in 10 seconds, and I can copy and paste that and send it over. Now, obviously, I change it around and make it personal and whatnot. But there's tools for everything. I was just looking on TikTok. There's an AI agent that can watch your history and have a full podcast outline for you. Now, I would never do that because my mind's better than AI. But if you weren't and you weren't smart, you could literally have that where it could watch all the sports games for a week, gather all that data, and tell you exactly what you could talk about. And there's different ones all over the place. So like, what are your thoughts on AI? Do you think it's helpful? Is it going to take over the world?
I think that it's going to be regulated to an extent. Like you start hearing that Drake song that came out. Did you hear that?
The one that Winter Storm.
Like, and it snapped.
It snapped.
Right? And it was really good. And so I think it's going to get regulated. I think the government will regulate it just like they regulate every motherfucking thing else, like our money and everything. But we won't get into that. AI will and has been a helpful factor. Like, so if you look at SDRs and BDRs, so sales development representatives, people in 9 to 5 that'll do cold calling for companies, and
chat bots, and
they help them move up the ranks in the company. Like all of their emails now, like the response emails, are all written with AI, bro. And so in terms of productivity, AI will help. In terms of creativity, to an extent, AI will help. It's only going to get better. I do know already that I use AI for a lot of my copywriting on like websites and stuff, like things that people don't really read.
Yeah, but you gotta have, but it's not like no.
So I use actually use a thing called Prompt Genie. Prompt Genie will actually supercharge things you can feed to ChatGPT. So I'll go to Prompt Genie and say, hey, I'm writing a website for a landscaper, and he does this, this, and this service, and his brand motto is this, this, and this, and his beliefs are this, this, and this, and they service this area, and I give it all the input.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people mistake it. They just want to go to ChatGPT and be like, write me an essay on blank.
Yeah.
That's not how you feed information. No. You give it like everything.
You give it everything, and it just kind of expands.
Yeah. So I give all that to Prompt Genie. Prompt Genie gives me this like third-person perspective script like this long, and then I feed that to ChatGPT.
The same thing.
And it writes me like I barely have to edit it.
Like
and
professional,
like
sounds great, autocorrect it, and like
so. Yeah, things like that. I definitely think it'll help. I also know, in terms of customer service, ChatGPT will help. Like in my business as well. Like we're in the process right now. We're actually developing a customer service chatbot.
Yeah.
So what it does is like when people reach out through a chat widget on a website, it'll actually prompt it with like a real response.
Yeah.
You can value through positive and negative responses.
Yeah.
So like if it's like, hey, we're doing this and that, it's so smart that it can say, was that a positive or a negative response? And if it's a positive response, take it down this workflow. If it's a negative response, take it down that workflow.
Fun fact, I'm taking a class right now where we had to make a chatbot, and I had to do exactly what you were talking about with the values and whatnot, and put in all the different inputs. And it was actually kind of one,
like
one, it was easy. And two, it was like really helpful. Like I was like, if you have a website and you have all this built in where you can filter out the basic questions. Hey, I got the wrong size t-shirt. Where can I get it? And it sends you a form to get the right size or whatever.
Dude,
or like, hey, I want to get in contact with someone from this department. Instead of like being on the phone and me having to answer, just go to our website and click this link. Now, obviously, if it's a specific question, we're a brand trying to reach out and we want to do this. That stuff, obviously, you can reach out for. But like the basic questions that are in the FAQ, frequently asked questions, like the chatbot can handle that and make your job easier, especially when you start getting to a high demand spot like Nike. They don't have time to sit back and respond to every single person who has a question. They have a million chatbots. Yeah. But obviously, if you're starting up, like you don't really need one. But as you get bigger, you're going to want that to automate responses.
And that's the thing. If you want to go start a business right now, and this is like what I did. If I could give any piece of advice, and I'm only 6 months really in, if I give any piece of advice to someone who wants to start, besides everything they've heard before, it's honestly start. One, like just start, right? But two, stop. And this is going to be the biggest, like, what? But stop thinking that your time is worth shit.
Yeah.
If you're brand new in an industry, your time, and that's the thing about humans, we're like, oh, our time is so valuable. It's not.
Yeah.
Like, when I first started, I would post in Facebook groups and say, who wants me to build them a free landing page?
Yeah.
And then what I did was I'd build them out a landing page. Well, guess what? Go download High Level. Go download ClickFunnels. Go download any of these softwares that have pre-made templates. Just go download it. You pay a fee, whatever, but you go build these people a landing page. And then guess what? You build it out for them. It takes you a couple of freaking hours, and then you give it to them for free, and they go, it's a law of reciprocity, bro. And in return, law of reciprocity, look it up. It means basically you give and you shall get back. And you give them something like this, and their first reaction is like, wait, this guy just did this for me for free.
How much do I owe you?
And the first thing you go back is you say, can you just leave me a testimonial?
Yeah.
And that's how I started. I just did it for free, and I asked 30 people to give me testimonials. I filled out BlakeMaddox.com with testimonials, and it was just like, whenever I reached out to somebody as in a high authoritative figure, and they were like, "Go fuck yourself. I don't trust you," right? Because that's what everybody's initial reaction when you get a cold call. Right as I hung up the phone, I would text them my website and said, "Hey man, I know it's super weird to get a cold call like that, but if you actually want some social proof, check my website out. It speaks for itself."
Yeah.
People would click on my website, maybe fucking scrolling, and there's video testimonies of people like Blake this, Blake that, trustworthy, awesome kid, yada. And then
Blake's a good name.
And then it's like, when you send that to somebody, then they call you back and they're like, "I want your business. Like, I want to do business with you because you've proven your, like, that in itself proves itself." So what I'm basically saying is, to anybody who wants to start a business, don't go into it with the mindset of like, I'm going to start it and make a shit ton of money at first. Because you're not. You actually probably only want to start a business if you have capital, liquid, ready to roll. Like if you have a couple grand and you're not scared to lose it, because you're going to lose it.
Scare money don't make money. So into our last topic, this is my favorite one. So as many of you people know, watching, my late friend Emmanuel is no longer with us, but we're going to carry his legacy on.
That's your friend that just passed away?
Mm-hmm. So my late friend that passed, he always would say, be blessed. That was something he always said to us when he would text us. He'd be like, "Hope you're doing good. I just want to make sure you're okay." And he would end every text, every phone call with "be blessed." And he was just always checking on your friend's mental health. So that's what I'm doing right here. So one, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come talk with us on the pod. And I just want to check on how you're doing, just like mentally, not even really like socially. Just how has your head been? How's everything been going for you? Is there anything I can pray for you for? Just how you been mentally?
Well, like, you want the honest answer, or do
yeah,
you?
I want.
Yeah,
I want
the honest answer is everything's pretty fucked right now with business and super busy, and still with personal development and stuff. Like, I feel like I wake up and I have 10 things to accomplish. I accomplish all 10, and then I go to bed and there's 10 more things.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like,
it's never ending.
It's never ending. And I think that just kind of comes with being in business, having your own company, as well as trying to manage and juggle these new things. And so, like, I would say that I'm strong-minded. Like, I'll be okay, but like, if anything, don't pray for me. Pray for the guys out there that aren't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I mean, you got to check on your strong friends, man.
Yeah, no, like basically what I'm saying is, like, I work better under pressure. You're better off praying for people who don't, and there's so many, bro. There are so many people who are like literally so lost, like, and they know it. They know it. They just can't come to terms with it, but they know. They know when they go to bed and they stare at their picture and remember, and they're sad, and like, but there's more of that than there is anything. So pray for those people. Don't pray for me. I'm good.
I'm always gonna pray for you, man.
Yeah, shit's crazy.
What are some things that are just going good that I continue to pray for prosperity? I
definitely pray for my family. My dad is like 61, still healthy, hitting it, running a really good business. Stud. If I could be anybody, I'd be my dad. He's just like, he still looks good. He's got the baby blue eyes that move when you look at him. His eyes are like, he's still a stud. He barely drinks, keeps himself in great shape, but he's 61, bro. And like, that means when I'm 32, 33 years old, he'll be in his 70s. And so, like, he had me when he was 35. And so I always pray for him, because, like, he beats himself up to the point where it's like he's broken everything in his body, to the point where I honestly wouldn't be surprised one day if I got a call from one of my family members and they're like, "Your dad collapsed." Just because he's under so much stress. He's under so much. And if he's watching this, he's probably like, "Oh, I can't collapse," but it's just the truth. Like, he puts himself under a lot of stress. So I pray for my dad, pray for my mom, fam, right? But just like you said, be blessed. Right?
Yes, sir. Well, that'll conclude episode 103. We made it through another banger. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and you know the drill. Share with your friends, your grandma, your goldfish, and your goldfish's grandma. See y'all next time.
Yes, sir. Cheers to that, buddy. That was good.